the bloodthirsty queen who made her guards compete to the death for her love. In the scorching heartlands of ancient Ethiopia, where myth, monarchy, and madness often intertwined, there once ruled a queen so lethal, so depraved, and so dangerously beautiful that even her name was whispered only with fear. Her name was Queen Gudit to some. To others she was known as Yodit, Judith, or simply the Fire Queen. But in the folklore passed down through generations, she was remembered not for love, but for lust, power, and rivers of blood. The legends claim she came from a royal or noble line, possibly of the Aksumite Empire, or a rival tribe pushed to the margins of power. What is certain is this: when Gudit rose to power, she rose like a flame and burned everything in her path. After toppling dynasties and seizing the throne, she bathed her kingdom in cruelty. Her enemies were skinned alive, priests burned at the stake, and entire churches razed to the ground. But that was only the beginning. It was in her palace, her blood-soaked paradise, where Queen Gudit's cruelty reached its most twisted form. She had a royal guard of hand-picked warriors, each one strong, young, and loyal to a fault. But to serve the queen was not an honor. It was a death sentence. Because Queen Gudit didn't just crave loyalty, she craved entertainment, and her favorite show was the death match for her affection. Night after night she would summon 2 or more of her finest soldiers, men who once laughed and trained together, and she would pit them against one another in a fight to the death. All for her amusement. She would recline on silk cushions, draped in gold and blood-red robes, sipping fermented honey wine, smiling coldly as men begged for mercy or for her favor. And when the victor finally stood bloodied and trembling before her, she would draw him close, whisper sweet promises of love. And then she'd grow bored. He'd be executed the next day, sometimes with a kiss, sometimes with a dagger. The queen never kept a lover for long. Her thirst for violence was insatiable, and those who refused to fight, they were impaled, or worse, burned alive in the palace courtyard as a warning to the others. One tale says she forced a soldier to kill his own brother before offering him a crown of thorns, and then gouged out his eyes when he hesitated. Some say the queen bathed in the blood of her fallen guards, believing it preserved her youth and power. And while many of these stories border on myth, the historical record confirms this much. Queen Gudit waged a ruthless campaign of destruction across Ethiopia in the 10th century, burning religious centers, slaughtering royal heirs, and shattering the once mighty Aksumite Empire. She ruled for over 30 years, an eternity of fire and fear. To some, she was a freedom fighter, a woman avenging centuries of injustice against her people. To others, she was a sadistic demon, a queen who ruled not through justice or faith, but through terror and death. Even in death, her legend burned on. Long after her blood-stained throne was empty, Ethiopian mothers would frighten unruly children with warnings. Sleep, or Gudit will come for you. Because history never forgets a queen who chooses blood over mercy. And Gudit, she drank it like wine,